Welcome to She Sells Radio and welcome to day 17 of the Finish Strong Challenge. This is all about you really being so proud of yourself and so inspired by yourself of what you do and create before the end of this year. And as always, if you are new to the challenge, you can go get signed up completely free, elisearcher.com/challenge. And if you are joining me and you've been participating all along, yay, you made it to day 17. Great work. We're getting close to halfway through. So how you doing? How you doing? Do a comment on social at Elise Archer. Let me know how you're doing. Send me a DM. But today is really about something that I've just found so transformational in my own life, which is remembering that for any goal you're creating and going towards in your life, be it a sales goal, a health goal, a life goal, it's not about you having to do all the heavy lifting. And anytime we are in that energy of heavy lifting where we feel like we've got to be completely responsible for making the thing happen. I mean, even in the energy of those words, like I try to be very conscious in my own life now when I talk about making something happen, because when you remember, and I've talked about this on recent episodes too, that we see less than 1% of reality. There's a lot happening behind the scenes to help you in the accomplishment of your goals. And if you feel like you've got to be in charge of the whole thing, it's going to feel heavy. You're going to cut off possibility, and it's going to take you a lot longer too. So today I drew some inspiration from the book U Squared by Pritchett. If you have not read it, it's a phenomenal book. Go get yourself a copy. And I'm not going to go through the whole chapter, but he has a chapter called Rely on the Unseen Forces. And by the way, this book, U Squared, I shared it with my 50K Club Mastermind this spring. And I've talked about it quite a bit with them, because when I look at my own life experience and like my own quantum leap moments, it hasn't all been a quantum leap. Frankly, a lot of it has been daily, consistent showing up, putting in the work. And I have had those quantum leap type moments. And when I look back at what happened, the book explains it, and it's real. So if you are either trying to figure out what happened when you had your own quantum leap, or you're wanting to create one in your life, this is a phenomenal book to read. But with that being said, so this chapter is Rely on the Unseen Forces. And he's basically, what he says here is, you're not going to fully understand or explain the unseen forces. He calls them phantom powers that can't be fully explained, and talks about how sometimes you'll have that flash of inspiration, right? As you're thinking about your goal, falling in love with it, you have like that flash of inspiration, or that intuitive nudge, or that download of, this is what I'm going to do next. That is the unseen forces helping you. And whether you call it God, whether you call it intuition, whether you call it spirit, or your subconscious, it's like all related, right? And it's all there to aid you and help you in the accomplishment of your goal. But what you have to do to be able to rely on the unseen forces to help you in the way that you want is, the way that he says it is, paint a vivid picture in your mind for these forces to know precisely what you want. In one way or another, the unseen forces will dazzle you with their impact. Count on it. And I love how he kind of wraps up the chapter too by saying, when you focus constantly on a clear picture of what you want to accomplish and move toward it confidently, the unseen forces will rally to your support. So those are the two keys there. Well, kind of three, I would say. There's 3 C words, right? So a clear picture. So number one, how clear is the picture in your mind of what you want? If it's not clear to you, it couldn't be clear to somebody else. It's not going to be clear to your subconscious, which means you're not going to get the right guidance and direction you need to move you towards it. So that's number one. Is it clear? Could you clearly state, this is what I will have accomplished by the end of this year, and someone else could understand it? Number 2, constant. Focus constantly on what you're creating, not in a fearful energy of like, oh my gosh, is this going to happen? Is it not? Like, that's actually a way it won't happen. But really just kind of feeling that. I don't know about for you, but for me, with whatever I'm creating, I kind of feel like this constant inner pull where like I can see it in my mind and I'm kind of obsessed with it, not in an unhealthy way, but in a like falling in love type of way. So is that picture that you're holding in your mind, are you constantly moving towards it, even just energetically? Or are you wavering and are you questioning yourself? Right. So that the constancy is key. Is constancy a word? I think so. And then the final word here is confidence. When you move toward it confidently, what would it look like for you to move towards it confidently? I was on a training call this morning with a company that I'm partnered with, listening to the woman who's leading the training talk about what she did when she was earlier on in her business. And she knew she wanted to build a team, and she wanted a team of 20 people. And at the time, I think she had 3 people. And she said, there's this big company event coming up, and I bought 20 tickets. I had no idea who these people were going to be, but I knew that I was going to go to that event and I wanted 20 people there. And I knew if I bought the tickets, those seats would get filled. Sure enough, in a very short amount of time, her team grew from 3 to 20, and all 20 went to the event together. And it was literally, it was that confidence in that action she had taken. So what sort of action would you take right now if you were confident that your goal and your mission was going to be accomplished? And it will feel like faith. It will feel like, okay, I'm like going out on a limb here, but that's what we have to remember. You don't see most of what's happening to help support you, but the way that you're going to get that support and those downloads and what you want feeling like, as much as you're moving towards it, it's moving towards you, is that clarity in your vision, the constant focus on it, and then the confident action. What's the confident action you could take right now towards that goal? So I want you to think about that for today. And that's your challenge for today. I want you to journal on those three things. How clear am I? If not, let me get more clear. What does that look like for me? What is the thing I want to create with this challenge? Number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, how constant am I towards my vision? Am I like all over the place? Am I wavering? Am I deviating? Or no, am I a constant steady, like this is happening, I see it, I feel it? And then the number 3 is, what action could I take that would show complete confidence that yes, this is happening for me by the end of this year? And if the timeline gets you kind of gunked up energetically, forget the timeline, right? That's the one piece we don't control when it comes to goal achievement. We don't control the timeline. There's probably a few pieces we don't control, but one of the main ones is we don't control the timeline. So with this, if you're taking this challenge in real time and what you want to have happened on January 2nd versus December 31st, would you be okay with it, right? It's like we get to kind of loosen the grip about the timeline if it's feeling constrictive. So check in with yourself energetically, and you can kind of redirect from there if needed. But I want you to journal on those 3 things, and then to get entered into our prize drawings and to participate when you are done with that journaling exercise and you've committed to what's the action I'm going to take that would show confidence. I want you to go share on social. So you'll have, when you register for when you register for the challenge, you'll get a graphic that comes along with this week. You share the graphic, you check off the day, say, I did this, tag me, I'm at Elise Archer, use the hashtag #SheSellsChallenge, and then you will be entered into our prize drawings for the challenge. So that is today, my friend. I want you to leverage the unseen and have some fun with this one. Can't wait to hear what's happening for you with this challenge. Again, I love seeing your updates and your wins on social. Keep sharing those, please. They keep me so excited. I'll see you for tomorrow's day of the